Okay, so we're about halfway through our Genius Hour now. We've been researching, we've been going through ideas and talking about it with our peers and working really hard at this. And we've got our basic idea done, and then all of a sudden, I'm lost. You are really kind of at that point where you've done a lot, but you don't think that your project's going anywhere and you don't know what to do next. A great way to get around this and to move your project further or get some more valuable information would be to ask an expert. Let's look for an expert in your field. So when we're doing this is going to be a little more difficult than just picking up the phone, but if we can narrow down the topic and decide exactly what we are looking at or what your topic is about, we can find an expert that could potentially help you move forward or open a whole new door for your entire project. So after you're considering who your expert is or what the field your expert comes from, it's sometimes just as easily as typing into Google the field that you're looking for. So a physicist or a chemist or a psychologist or a librarian or something like that, or just sending an email. A lot of the times people in these fields are more than willing to help, and they're more than willing to go out of their way to actually provide something extra for their field of study. It's not always the case though. So with that being said, there are some links that I'm going to allow you to follow here that are going to provide you a bunch of experts. They're going to give you a list of experts in different fields that you can use, and it will help you find the right people that have already volunteered their names to helping projects like this. So if you look at the link, if you look at this link and you copy that down and just go to that link, right at the bottom, if you scroll down, there's a whole list of experts that are more than willing to help you answer questions. Now, before you just jump in, click on the link and find your expert and then just shoot off an email, there's a few things that you want to make sure that you do so that you're not wasting their time. Now, these people are typically experts in their field and they're currently doing research or working other jobs. So we want to make sure that we're as courteous and to the point as possible, because we don't want to waste somebody's time. A lot of the times these people are doing this out of the goodness of their heart. So things that you should be checking for. First, do you sound professional? So check for spelling, grammar, have someone proofread your work and go over it to make sure that everything actually makes sense before you send it off. Second, provide the expert with a little bit of background information of what you're doing. Don't just say, how do you make the draft of an airplane less? Because they have no idea what you're talking about. They don't know if you're talking about a full-size airplane, a 747, a Cessna, a paper airplane. Give them some background on what you're doing and what your project's about so that they have a reference point and they can actually help you. Ask your question. So try to have your question be, again, as direct as possible. Don't be vague, because a vague question might get a vague answer. And you don't want the expert to confuse what you're looking for with something else. The other thing is that before you do all of this, I guess the first thing you actually should do is introduce yourself. Okay, make sure, again, and this goes back to this part here, make sure that the expert knows who you are and what you're doing. Finally, thank the expert for their time. Remember, they're not getting paid to help you. They're not part of your project. Any help that they give you is voluntary and it should be appreciated regardless of whether you deem it helpful or not. And you're not always going to get an answer right away. So if you email them on Tuesday, you might get the answer the following Tuesday or the Tuesday after that. So getting an email out to the expert as soon as possible or sending a message to them is probably beneficial for your project. But do make sure that you thank them, as that is something that they're doing out of the goodness of their heart by sending you a message back. And that is how you're going to ask your expert.